My name is Mace, and I'm gonna try to tell you how to be a good au pair. Mia has asked me to do this video for you guys so you can learn from my experience, and that way you can make the best of your own experience. I have been in China for 10 months, and I've been an au pair in 2 families and in 2 cities, and my last city was Shenzhen, where I met the gorgeous Mia and Tess, where I had the most fun of all. So no wonder that Mia asked me to do this video for you guys. How to be a good au pair. It's difficult because you're in a foreign country, living in a foreign family with a foreign child, and you're supposed to be the au pair slash English teacher. So, first of all, how to be a good au pair? Like children. This one is quite obvious, and guessing that because you have had interest in being an au pair, you already know what children are like and you have already had some experience with children, otherwise you wouldn't have applied for a job working with children 24/7. But anyway, like children, because if you don't, you have to pretend you do. Second, smile. I believe that if you smile, you will be happier, you will look more beautiful, people will like you more. And if you look like this all the time, no one's getting any better. You aren't getting any better, the children, the parents, nobody. So just try to smile. I know it's difficult, but really, it will change your attitude towards yourself if you do that. Third of all, this sounds a little bit too easy as well, but play fun games. I know it's difficult to always come up with fun games, but it's important because if you don't do anything at all with these children will get bored, and when children get bored, you just don't want to have that. Although it's good for children to be bored sometimes, but that's not why you're there. You're there to keep those children entertained and to play with them. How can you play well with them? For example, you have to ask them for ideas and you have to keep them entertained, like I said. So you can say like, oh, we're gonna build a card house, I don't know, because you like it. But if the children are bored, you have to see that they are bored and you have to change what you're doing and you have to change the game, because otherwise the children won't like it. You don't have any inspiration for playing games? Use the internet. The internet is full of ideas and recipes you can make together, or crafts you can do. You can find lots and lots of stuff online. You just have to search for it. And most of the time, like if you want to bake something, you just tell your host mom, and maybe together you can go do grocery shopping so you can prepare some fun games with the children. And if you don't know anything and you've tried the internet, ask other au pairs and ask Tess and Mia. They will have fun ideas to do. Also, things you can do is like read a book to them or with them, or just dance around. That's what I like to do most of the time. Just put on some music and dance, or make music or something like that. It keep their energy high. But one thing is, don't get more energy than the child. Always follow the child in their energy, like not get more pumped up than they are, and just be on the same level as the children. It's difficult, but it's important that you do that. Also, like, ask the children what they like. Ask them if, like, you can organize a whole special day of baking, but if they aren't into baking, it's no use. So ask them what they like to do, ask them what sports they want to play, and you can do that because they will give you ideas as well. Try to find those together. And one more thing is, like, put your phone away. It's difficult, I know, it's difficult for me as well. It's difficult for probably everybody in this age to put their phone away. But it's better if you want to focus on the child to put your phone away, to actually look what they are doing, and the parents will like that more and the children will like that more. So just try to keep it in your pocket or just leave it in your room as much as possible. And then how to be a good teacher, because that's something a lot of people struggle with, because we aren't teachers. We just got out of high school most of the times ourselves. So it's really difficult to know how to teach somebody a language when they don't even speak your language. So that's difficult. Once again, for these things you can go online, and you have a few websites. I believe I gave Mia some websites and I can find them myself, and a lot of Dutch au pairs in Shenzhen will have the websites as well. Use those because they are really handy, and you can make a good lesson. And another tip is to show the parents the progress the children are making, and it just has to be a little bit, like, if you have a young child and you just learn them to count, and you are having dinner and you ask, like, how many chairs are there in this table, and then you count together, and the parents will kind of hear that and be like, oh, you know they can count already a little bit. That's good. So they can see the progress, because Chinese parents are very happy to see progress, because that's all they want, actually. Another thing is prepare, like, know what you are doing. So when they are in school already, and you have to help them with their homework, check their books, know what chapter they are working with, and within the week you can work with the chapter. So if the chapter that week is like colors, you can, every day you see colors, so you can constantly be like, what's that color, and in the normal day-to-day life you can try to apply what they are learning in school. But if they are younger, well, yeah, you have to prepare by different ways. You just have to look up some little movies they can watch, and like Little Baby Bum, go to YouTube. If you put on your VPN anyway, go to YouTube or something and find Little Baby Bum. They will have lots of children's songs and they can sing them together. That's really nice for the younger children. And that's another part, like, try to make playing their teaching moment as well. So when you're, for example, baking something, like, try to say the action in English. Like, now I'm pouring the milk, and I'm gonna weigh the flour, and now I'm kneading the dough, and all those kind of verbs and sentences are very useful for them. So try to engage in that. So, for example, when you play soccer, you can say, like, oh, you scored, you're so good at playing football, and you, like, the things they do, just say what they are doing, say what you are doing, and say it in English so they can hear it. And you can ask them to repeat, but don't do that too often, because then they will feel annoyed that when they're playing they still have to learn, because that's not always fun. And for, like, if you want to have fun learning, let them watch a movie that doesn't have subtitles. Don't start with, like, super complicated movies like Inception or something, because that's too difficult if you don't understand it, and then we'll just be bored. But like the Minions, because in the Minions there isn't much talking English anyway, so they will kind of understand the story anyway. But like, if they can watch that without subtitles, and you ask, like, oh, did you understand that? And you can say, like, if you don't understand, pause and I'll try to explain it to you, or we can even use a translator, because watching a movie without understanding it is boring, so you have to help them as well. Other things you should do is yeah, no, that's kind of my teaching ideas. But once again, try to make every possibility into a learning possibility, but don't force them. Don't show them that's it's actually teaching, because then they will be like, oh, I don't want that. I already have classes, and when I want to play. But you have to, like, kind of sneak those little teaching moments into the playing games. And then one of the things you probably already experience if you're there is homesickness. And you know what you need when you have homesickness? You need courage, an open mind, and optimism. because that's all it's about. Because you need to have an open mind to let the family and their culture welcome you in their home, and you need courage to survive it because it's difficult, and you need optimism because you have to know that it will get better, because it does. And if you just constantly negative, like, oh, it's so hard, it's so bad, it's so sad, it's not getting any better. So what I said, like, if you look like this, it doesn't get better. But if you try to look positive and put on a smile and be like, okay, today is not my day, but tomorrow it will be. And if it isn't tomorrow, it will be the day after that, because there are many other people who've done it before me who can do it, so I can do it as well. And other things is like, take your mind off of it, because you can go sit in your room and cry and talk to people and be like, oh, I miss this and I miss that and I miss everything. But the best thing to do if you're homesick is like, get out there and try to find some things you like. Try to find a coffee place you love to sit, find a book you want to read, make some friends you want to hang out with. Get out of your comfort zone and go do something that you enjoy, so you don't feel sad all the time. Because once your mind is off your home, you will see what you can do in China. If you are in China and you constantly keep thinking about your home, you won't see China. And after, when you leave, you can't even say you were in China, because your mind was constantly back in your hometown, and that's not how your exchange year should be. So what I said, courage, optimism, and an open mind, and go explore this country, this beautiful country that's called China, and its wonderful people, and go make the best of it. And of course, it won't always be fun, because it never will, but you can always try to make it as best as possible. I have this saying, life is a party, but you have to decorate it. And those are kind of my advices. If you ever have any questions, you can ask Mia for my contact card, and I will gladly answer your questions. So good luck for now, and I'll see you later maybe.